What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We got some kind of fun stuff going on today. So recently my girlfriend got into a new car, so if you guys have kind of been watching the channel for a while, you would have known that, or at least seen in the background, she had a Scion FRS for a while. It was a 2013 model. Had like wheels, coils, exhaust, control arms, just, you know, fun stuff. She just enjoyed taking the car to the canyon and daily driver and stuff. She had to end up selling that, and then she was driving a truck for a while, and she just got into a 2017 Civic Sport Hatch. So this thing's actually pretty neat. If you don't know, these ones are the turbo 1.5 liters, the L15B7s, and this thing, honestly, I mean, I drive an S2000, and those aren't fast cars. So to me, this thing feels like it absolutely scoots when you have eco mode off or whatever, because like first through third, like turbo spooling, freaking, whew, it just feels so good. I don't know, take that with a grain of salt, but yeah, it's a neat little car. It's got like 60,000 miles on it, and obviously it's all stock, so that's where I'm coming in to ruin it. Main thing that she wants to do right now, she is currently saving up for some wheels, so that will be done hopefully relatively soon. But in the meantime, she's used to driving like my S2000. She's driven the Integra a bit. Her FRS had an exhaust, so Stock Boy has got to go. So we're gonna be building her an exhaust today, using some pretty nice stuff. So we got some, you know, some mid-tier stainless pipe here, but we also got a vibrant muffler and a vibrant ultra quiet resonator, and yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. I have no idea how this is actually going to end up sounding, being that it's turbo and it has two giant mufflers in the back and a resonator in the middle. This is probably going to wake it up quite a bit, but being that it's vibrant stuff, I think it's going to not be nearly as loud as, I don't know, like whatever. I don't know what else to compare to. Vibrant has really good quality stuff, so main goal is to get rid of this stuff. So should be pretty easy. I'm gonna make it a full bolt-on setup, and it looks like it's pretty straightforward. I already got the car up on a stand, so I was kind of looking at my plan of attack. Got some big under trays and splash trays under the car. I gotta zip off quick, and then the rest of it should be pretty easy. And it looks like the exhaust goes almost entirely straight back, a little bit of a bend up over this little crossbar thing, and then it kind of dips down and does like a 45 curve out to the center exit. And I do plan on keeping the dual tip. I taught myself how to make a Y pipe, so I'll show you guys that here in a little bit once I get to that portion. So I'm gonna crawl under there quick and get this stuff off from the bottom of the car. this under tray stuff. So stupid. But it's off nonetheless. Looks like downpipe comes up through here. And the exhaust itself starts at this flange right here. So this is where we're gonna work from. Go from here all the way to the back. You can kind of see it's a relatively straight shot, a few bends here and there, so I'm sure I can work with it just fine. These look like 14, so let's pull this off. Well, there we go. Huge pain in the ass, but it's out. I just checked through my bin full of flanges, and this one actually fits perfect with the downpipe that's on the car. The inside diameter is a little on the smaller side, so I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. I might just take the carbide burr wheel, or carbide burr bit, and hog it out a little bit. It's not far off. And then I'll just have to go get a gasket for it. But yeah, the bolts are all the same. I just didn't want to have to chop that one off if I didn't need to, because I would like to have this fully functional in case she ever has to take it in for some sort of inspection or warranty, or she decides to sell it and she wants to put the stock one back on. This one will be fully intact. So I'm gonna go open this hole up a little bit and we'll get started. Got the flange tacked on and the first 45 coming off the flange. So now I'm gonna test fit where I want the resonator to sit and then measure up the straight section I need to go from that 45 to the resonator. And when you're somebody like me that doesn't have the luxury of a lift, I just use a series of different things. Normally I use my jack and then I have a piece of wood that helps balance it on there, and I just kind of position it where I need to. So that's what you can see, resonator there. Other pipe there coming off the flange. So I just need to measure the distance from here to here, and thankfully that's pretty much straight across going under this bar here. Knocking away pretty steady progress at this. Haven't been at it very long, so you can kind of see. Let me focus you up here. Sorry, rolling on the car here. So you can see the muffler still there. Had to do like a funky like 45. Well, I used the 90 and I cut the 90 in half, and then used opposite 45s from that 90 to then shoot it straight back to right here. And then I was able to use this 45 just as is to obviously kick it right here. Now I gotta bring this out a little bit and then a 45 here under the thing here, and then we can bring it literally straight back out the center. And the muffler I'm gonna set right around here and then do my dual tips from there. So this thing's already almost done. I am kind of cheating a little bit because this is just a bone stock daily driver. It doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. So I'm using like the expanded ends of the pipe to kind of get a little bit of extra angle and wiggle room out of it. Normally, if it was a customer car, I would prefer to use more precise bends or pie cuts to achieve the bends that I need. In this case, I can fake upwards of like 5 or 6 degrees or something with just the expanded portion of it. It does affect the flow dynamics just a touch, because then you have like small blocks in there because you have the edge of the pipe within the slip joint instead of just a smooth transition all the way through. But again, it's a daily driver. It's my girlfriend's car. She's not a race car driver, so we're still gonna make it look nice. It's just that touch a little bit of a cheater mode going on, but progress is progress, eh? What do you think, pup? Yeah, she's not interested. She's just patrolling. Finally moving on to the muffler section. So this is pretty darn easy, you know. I really can't complain about this exhaust. This car is making it super simple. So there we are. Straight back. Well, it's slightly off to the left, but I can kind of fake it with the thing with the muffler, because that is a slip joint into there, because this is like 2.5 ID, that's 2.5 OD, so gives me a little bit of wiggle room on there. And then I do have a little bit of wiggle room on the whole exhaust, because where the resonator is, I have like 3/4 inch on each side before it hits the heat shielding. So let's get this into position and see what we're looking like. Okay, you know, I actually don't know if I like that. It looks like I can't really go any higher, and that sits really, to me, really low. So, I spoke too soon about how easy it was going to be. Not that it looks like it's going to be much harder, but I think now I'm going to have to make some, I do have some 45s that I can turn into a 90, but it looks like I'm going to have to like 90 it up, or up and then over like that. And then I'm going to have to cut the dual tips really short because they're pretty long right now, and I still got to finish making it. I have the two pieces welded together for the dual tip. I just got to end up butting the pipe up to it, cutting that portion, and then going through and welding it all together yet. But I can always length or shorten the length of the tips on it, but I want this to tuck up a bit higher than it is now, so let's play with this now. Alright, so because the length of the muffler, I couldn't do the little S shape to get it up higher, so I kind of sucked it in. I trimmed it back a little bit back there, and I was able to actually angle it upward, and then I'm just going to straighten it out with the tip. So the tip I can have sitting at like a slight angle, but yeah, I mean, just looking at the car from the side, like normal height, you still can't see the muffler, so it's still decently tucked up there. So let's go finish welding up the tip, and then we can get that sorted and get that tacked on, and then I got to figure out a hanger situation, add all that, and then I can drop it and weld it, but you know, one step at a time. So here we are. This is the dual tip. Pretty proud of it so far. I mean, it's super even. It looks nice. I'm proud of it. So it's good to be proud of yourself, you know. So I actually had to go buy some tungsten because this is my last piece, and that's as far out as I can get it without it falling out of the tip. And that's not far enough to get in there to weld that all the way. So I got to cut a new piece of tungsten so that way I can use that. Weld this up, and then basically, as I understand it, to do this, we'll use this for example. Basically, all I would do is attach it like that, kind of tack it in place there, and then throw this in the saw and cut it there. And then I would then butt this up and kind of massage it just a little bit, and then weld it, and that's that. That's a lot better. This should be able to get me in there. Oh yeah, just fine. So probably not totally perfect, but I think that'll work just fine. I can tack it on, kind of massage the edges around to try and match it a little bit, but nonetheless, I'm incredibly stoked on this. That was my first one ever. This came out pretty good, so probably could have used a slightly table. I was smacking it around, but there we go. I probably could have used a slightly smaller diameter tube and then stepped it up just a hair. Well, actually, to be fair, this is the expanded portion of the end of one of the straights, so this is a smaller portion, this is bigger. So if I would have used this side, it probably would fit better, but I wanted the smaller side on this side so I could fake the funk just a little bit to angle it down off the muffler so I could have it coming out pretty much straight. So I am going to have to shorten this a bunch. I'm going to go test it on the car, make my mark, and then cut it. Alright, got the tips all tacked on. Looks pretty good. I think it's pretty darn centered, so I'm gonna just go ahead, like I said before, add the hangers now because I'm afraid to, you know, shift too much. Well, actually no, I should probably drop the whole thing, weld it, and then reposition it, and then add the hangers because it's probably gonna warp a bit when I weld it. So yeah, you know what, that's the plan. Let's drop this, hopefully not break it. I got like 3 tacks per joint. Hopefully that's good enough. Be gentle. working on getting the exhaust hung up right now. I goofed and I accidentally knocked over the bottle and it broke my regulator. Thankfully I have two. It's just spent all that time setting up the other welder, getting it fixed, that way I could use that out here and not have to lug the heavy freaking Miller out here. So it is what it is. I gotta add the hangers right now, so I'm gonna try and I'll probably just reuse the stock hanger for the midsection, and then I'm gonna have two of the longer guys down here. These long rods that have the metal tab already on them. I may try and incorporate the tab, if not I'll just pull them out of the rubber portion and then attach it to the factory hanger that's in the rear, because they're still on there, so that'll be beneficial. So I'll figure it out here in a minute. But yeah, we're almost done, and then we can freaking fire this thing up, hear all the turbo whistles and stuff. Finally done. So this is what we're looking like. Tucked up super close to the bumper. Looks pretty legit. I mean, I probably could have done the Y a little bit further. For some reason I thought this was a lot more condensed, but overall, like, this is a solid setup. So I did kind of like an X with the hangers here, so they bolt up with the heat shield here, and I have the one little hanger in the midsection bolted up there. And yeah, it turns out it's plenty sturdy. So there is a flex pipe on the downpipe, so I'm not too worried about that. And these are rubber hangers, so perks of if she has any issues, and you know, she lives with me, so I can fix it. So let's fire it up and hear how it sounds. That's actually way quieter than I thought. That's pretty darn quiet. Way quieter than I honestly anticipated it to. I know the turbo acts is kind of like a muffler. Then it's got a cat, and then we did a vibrant resonator and a vibrant muffler. So hopefully she likes it. She wanted to mostly just be able to hear her downshifts, so I will end up dropping this thing, getting it off the stands, and then I don't really want to put the under tray back on, so I'm not going to do that at the moment, because if it's too quiet for her, I'm probably going to end up taking the resonator out and then just replacing it with a piece of pipe, and then I don't want to have to deal with the under tray and all that crap again. So I'm going to go ahead, get the car down on the ground. I do have to get a gasket for the flange, because the other one had like a donut gasket kind of style pipe on it. This one is just two flat flanges. I'm sure it's leaking. I'm gonna feel it here in a sec. So I'll have to run to the parts store and go get a gasket, just a three bolt gasket. I'll take measurements really quick, but yeah, I think it sounds good. It's just very quiet. All right, so I've driven the car for a few minutes. You can kind of hear a little bit of exhaust note when you're accelerating, especially with the windows down. You can hear it a little bit, but it's hardly any louder than stock. And then especially on downshifts, you can't really hear it. You hear more engine noise than you hear exhaust note. So, well, that's a bummer. I mean, the exhaust turned out pretty good, but I don't think this is gonna work. I think it's gonna be a bit too quiet, so probably gonna end up changing it up maybe next weekend or something to chop out the resonator, see where that gets us. But I think the best bet, honestly, is gonna be like a new downpipe. Yeah, it's like stock almost. Ooh, rat rod. But yeah, it's I don't know. So there we have it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think she's gonna like it. I don't think it's gonna be loud enough for her. So to be continued, I guess. Actually, I'm gonna just say screw it. I'm gonna get it back up in the air really quick on some stands, and I'm gonna just chop that resonator out really fast and redo it. At least just replace it with some pipe, because I still got some daylight. So let's do it. All right, just got the resonator swapped, so let's fire it and see how it sounds now.
well, even taking the resonator out did just about nothing. So I don't know what else to do other than a catless downpipe. Because I feel like even chopping the muffler off, like it's a straight through style muffler, a little bit more baffling or sound deadening than like a Canon style, but even so, it's a straight through muffler design. So yeah, catless downpipe is gonna have to be what gets done to waken this thing up. So it's just a touch louder than it was before, so I'm gonna have to deal with it for now, but it is what it is. So overall, the exhaust sounds a little bit better after it's been driven a couple days, and the sound packing in both the muffler, well, we cut out the resonator, so after the sound packing in the muffler broke in a little bit, it made it a little bit noisier. It's still very subtle. Not that that's a bad thing per se, but we just want a little bit more. So the goal is now to save up and get like K-Tuner or Flash Pro, whichever one, either or whatever, and then we're gonna do a downpipe. Either I'm gonna fabricate one, or we might just buy the PRL one, either or, but just get a little bit more in there, and then either make an intake or again, maybe PRL intake or something. I don't know, it's her money, she can do what she wants with it. She just wants some turbo noises, you know? So overall, not the worst thing in the world. Could have sounded like a clap cheeks for all we know, like a normal single cam Civic or something like that farting down the road, but it's better to have minimal sound than, I guess, overkill it. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna just wrap the video up here. Not much else going on, so I will hopefully see you guys in the next one. If you stick around, if you did enjoy the video, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, hopefully you've considered subscribing by now. Best way to support the channel, I do have merch and stuff from the Big Cartel, and SD Fab stuff will be restocked soon. I just need to get some more plates cut for the DA stuff. Anyways, guys, do what you love, forget about the rest, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.